This is Luke Iorio, and here's this week's Meaningful Moment. I want to tell you about my reflections on this little experiment that we began last week. I asked you to pick out 3 or 4, or ideally many more, meaningful experiences and moments that allow you to touch your bliss that you could create and prioritize this month. What I realized in planning this myself was that it brought me back face to face with the question that I often close out my interviews with. What makes life and work meaningful to you? Of course, I had to reflect on this question for myself. As those of you have heard from last week's Meaningful Moment, I was reflecting on this particular question over the past week while I was out of town for my cousin's funeral. He was an artist that passed away simply too young. And while I was there, I realized so clearly that his final work of art, at least to me, was the beauty that he had created in and left for his family to continue. This provided me an immensely valuable lesson. You see, I'm always dreaming big, picturing of ways that I can use my work to impact the world or some specific cause in wonderful ways. And yet at the end of the day, a beautiful life for me begins at home. Whatever it is that home looks like for you might be a place to look. I know that right now I am blessed with both of my parents still alive, and they're happily married. They actually just celebrated their 47th wedding anniversary. I have an amazing, patient, kind, and loving wife, 2 only occasionally troublemaking kids, and even great in-laws and close friends who are truly family to me. But home can look so many ways. I've seen friends and colleagues who've come from more challenging backgrounds, and I've seen the amazing ways that they've learned or recreated what it is that they wanted. I've seen other friends create holiday groups of friends who were away from home that became each other's family, and you would be so blessed to spend a holiday with them because of how much fun and love they offered. Others still who were so grounded and comfortable in who they are that they completely and transparently and are open with their love, and they make it clear to any of those around them that they do not take them for granted. They shower those they love with love. They let them know it, so there's never any doubt as to whether they love and appreciate you. And I know others still that donate their most precious resource, their time, followed by their talent and gifts, to worthwhile and charitable causes, and they bring their families into that process and into that experience. There's so many more ways, but all of these individuals and everything that they do in this regard inspire me. At times, it even brings me to tears. And it gives me examples of who I continually aspire to be in the eyes of my kids, my wife, as well as so many else that are around me. The beautiful life begins at home. For me, that's with the TV off, although I guess I could say that it's typically with the TV off because it's not always. Movie night with popcorn and the kids snuggled up on you is simply awesome. It's an amazing, amazing time of connection. I want to create more and more of these experiences. Meaningful moments of connection and love and joy and contribution and authenticity, to create these with my family, whether it's from my kids all the way up to their grandparents and even to my brothers in blue and their gorgeous family. I'll explain them at another time. It turns out that what I've told my daughter for years was a much broader message that I needed to hear myself. You see, my meaningful way begins with creating a life that is beautiful inside and out. Moment by moment. To have that beauty inside and out means working on the inner world, the thoughts and beliefs, the energy of who we are, the awareness and consciousness, emotional well-being and values, and so much more that create our inner experience. And all of this is at least as much, if not so much more important to us than our external world of circumstances and situations and the doing of our lives. It's the inner experience that reveals and allows us to connect the joy that we have to our external lives. So the experiences and moments and even practices that I'm prioritizing this month, and really for this year and well beyond, are ones that allow me to practice being mindful, meaningful, and masterful. You see, mindful is my reminder to be both fully present in my life and to practice self-inquiry, meaning to go within consciously and explore with curiosity what's really going on, what has me seeing and experiencing the world the way that I do, what helps me connect to and be true to myself, as opposed to what it is that limits me or drops me into stress. Being meaningful is what helps me to focus on aligning my inner and outer worlds. You see, to me, meaningfulness is that bridge that connects the inner experience and outer circumstances and assures that they are congruent. It's what lines up who I am and what I truly want to experience with what I do and how I show up to do it. It's continually uncovering what matters most and making sure that I prioritize it and bring it into my everyday life and experience. Masterful reminds me of many things, but most important are just these couple. First, it's that masterful is about the process, meaning it's about how we show up, what we do, how we lean into things. It's the process that we have control and impact over, not the result or circumstance. The result or circumstances are merely symptoms or data that help us to adjust course. And it's also a reminder that there's always going to be something that's just completely out of your control. Mastery is about continually focusing on the process and its evolution. And then that second thing that Masterful helps keep top of mind for me is to do the things that I love, that are most important to me, even when I don't feel like doing them. There are times you just simply aren't going to want to do certain things no matter how important they are to you. I'm sure that's really shocking to all of you, right? Come on, we've all been there. But being masterful reminds me that those are precisely the times that I need to follow through and I need to prioritize what matters most and the practices that help me put that front and center. So being mindful, meaningful, and masterful are the qualities and the guideposts that I'm going to continually come back to as my ways of connecting to the moments and experiences that I believe make up a beautiful life inside and out. What is it that makes life and work meaningful to you? In what ways does that create what you would describe as a beautiful life? What are your guideposts that'll direct your way? And how are those meaningful moments and experiences that you wish to have part of all of this? And bring it in to your everyday, your every week. Have fun exploring these questions. Have fun exploring this experiment to bring more meaningful moments, more bliss into our lives this month. Be well, and until our next moment together, much love.